Kadachit kalindita vipina sangita karavo Muda birinari vadana kamalasvada madhupa Rama Shambhu Brahmarapati Ganesha Chitta Pado Mamarapati Ganesha Chitta Pado Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me Nata Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me Bhuje Savye Venum Shirasi Shiki Picham Katitate Bhuje Sevya Venum Yasi shiki picham katitate Dukulam netrante sahachara kataksham vidhadate Sada Srimad Vrindavana Basati Lila Parichayo Da Srimad Vrindavana Basati Lila Parichayo Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me Mahambodestire kanakaruchire nila shikare Vasan prasadanta sahaja balabhadrena balina Subhadra madhyasta sakala sura seva vasarado Subhadra madhyasta sakala sura seva vasarado Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me Kripa Paravarasa Jala Jalada Shreni Ruchiro Ramavani Rama Spura Damala Panke Ruhamukha Surendrairaradhya Shruti Gana Shikha Gita Charito. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. Rudharudo Gachan Pati Milita Budeva Patalai. Stuti Pradurbhavam Pratipadamupakarnya Sadaya. Daya Sindhur Bandhu Sakala Jagatam Sindhu Sutaya. Jagatam Sindhu Sutaya. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. Para Brahma Pida Kuvalaya Dolotpala Nayano. Nivasi Niladrao Nihita Charano Nanta Shirasi. Rasanando Radha Sarasava Pura Lingana Sukho. Sarasapa Lingana Sukho. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu Me. Navayachirajam na chakana manikya vibhavam. Nayacheham ramyam sakala janakamyam varavadu. Sada kale kale pramata patina gita charito. Kale pramata patina gita charito. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu Me. Aratvang samsaram dratataram asaram surapahate. Haratvam papanam vitati maparam yadavapahate. Aho dine nate nihita charano nishchitamidam. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me. Swami Nayana Patakami Bhavatu me. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Sometimes in great happiness, Lord Jagannath makes a loud concert with his flute in the groves on the banks of the Jamuna. He is like a bumblebee tasting the beautiful lotus-like faces of the coward damsels of Braja, and great personalities such as Lakshmi, Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Ganesha worship his lotus feet. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. In his left hand, Lord Jagannath holds a flute. On his head, he wears a peacock feather, and on his hips, he wears fine yellow silken cloth. From the corners of his eyes, he bestows sidelong glances upon his loving devotees, and he always reveals himself through his pastimes in his divine abode of Vrindavan. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. On the shore of the green ocean, within a large palace atop the brilliant golden Nilachal hill, Lord Jagannath resides with his powerful brother Balabhadra and his sister Subhadra, who sits between them. May that Jagannath Swami, who bestows the opportunity for devotional service upon all godly souls, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath is an ocean of mercy and is as beautiful as a row of blackish rain clouds. He is the storehouse of bliss for Lakshmi and Saraswati, and his face resembles a spotless, full-blown lotus. The best of demigods resembles a spotless, full-blown lotus. The best of demigods and sages worship him, and the Upanishads sing his glories. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. When Lord Jagannath moves along the road on his Ratha Yatra car, at every step, large assemblies of Brahmins loudly chant prayers and songs for his pleasure. Hearing their hymns, Lord Jagannath becomes very favorably disposed towards them. He is the ocean of mercy and the true friend of all the worlds. May that Jagannath Swami, along with his consort Lakshmi, who was born from the ocean of nectar, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannath, whose eyes resemble full-blown lotus petals, is the ornament on Lord Brahma's head. He resides on Nilachal hill, with the lotus feet placed on the heads of Anantadev. Overwhelmed by the mellows of love, he joyfully embraces Srimati Radharani's body, which is like a cool pond. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. I do not pray for a kingdom, nor for gold, rubies, or wealth. I do not ask for a beautiful wife as desired by all men. I simply pray that Jagannath Swami, whose glories Lord Shiva always sings, may be the constant object of my vision. O Lord of the demigods, please quickly remove this useless material existence I am undergoing. O Lord of the Yadus, please destroy this vast, shoreless ocean of sins. Ah, this is certain. Lord Jagannath bestows his lotus feet upon those who feel themselves fallen and have no shelter in this world but him. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. That devoted and virtuous soul who recites these 8 verses glorifying Lord Jagannath becomes cleansed of all sins and duly proceeds to Lord Vishnu's abode. Jagannath Swami ki. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody to the Sunday Feast program here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Also welcome to our online viewers. Today is, as you may have noticed, Jagannath Rath Yatra. Today is the day where in Puri, Orissa, Lord Jagannath is riding on his Rath, on his chariot, his cart. And it is a big Rath. Like here people are riding with small Raths. Like everybody has their little Rath with 4 wheels. Who knows how many wheels Lord Jagannath's Rath has? What do you reckon? 32 wheels. There's a lot of wheels, huh? Because he is God, he is the Lord of the universe. So when he goes on his chariot, it's not a simple little car like we're driving, little tiny matchbox car. He has 32 wheels, and every wheel is about half the height of this room. Very big wheels. Very big cart. Because Lord Jagannath, he is Jagannatha. Jaga means the universe, and Natha means the Lord, or the master of the universe. So when the master of the universe goes on his cart, he needs a big cart. And he is going down Grand Road. How many of you have been to Puri? You have seen Rath Yatra on Grand Road? It is big mela. Huh? There's more than 1 million people, 10 lakh people, who come together on that day to celebrate this festival of Rath Yatra. So, today we're going to speak about Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra. Om Ajnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya-manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadam Dadhati Swapadantikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripadamaham vande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasundubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So to understand this pastime of Jagannath Rath Yatra, we have to understand something about the nature of the Supreme Lord. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has all the opulences in full. What are they? Aishvaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasyasya, Yasasa, Shriyaha. What's the next line in Sanskrit? Usually you have one Pandit in the front who gives you all the things that you forgot, you know. So he has these 6 opulences of beauty, knowledge, wealth, fame, strength, and renunciation. All these 6 opulences. So he's the most opulent, he's the most wealthy person. Therefore, when he goes on parade, he goes with the biggest chariot that you can ever see. And it is made entirely of wood. There is not a piece of metal. There's not one nail in that cart. Everything is done with wooden spokes. Quite amazing how they manufacture completely new chariots every year. Every single year, completely new chariots. And what happens to the old chariots? They use the old chariots in the kitchen for cooking. For cooking the bhog, for the offerings. So there are specific servants who just are carpenters. That's their duty. They manufacture the cart of the Lord. And it's a great tradition, and you can see them how in great celebration, it's a festival actually. They go out and they select those trees, and then they bring the trees, and they all year long they manufacture these carts, which are extraordinarily beautiful and very big. It's difficult to climb them actually. I was there once. I was there a few times, but one time I climbed the Rat. If you don't have a nice staircase, which in the night usually they remove from the carts, then you have to just climb on the wheel, and it's risky business. It's quite dangerous. Plus, on top of that, on top of the carts, there is the pandas, there is the priests who are serving the Lord, and they're also protecting the Lord, and there is also policemen and other type of security personnel there. So when you climb the Rat, usually there is people there who come and hit you with their lathis, with their sticks. They beat you. Not too hard, just a little bit, and then they ask you for some bribe. And they say, okay, you can go. But then again, another one comes and says, no, you have to get off here. So it's like a pastime. So why is Krishna doing this? Why is God doing this? Because all the forms of enjoyment that we find here in this world, they're there in the spiritual world, in its original, pure form. What does a person do when he wants to go and enjoy themselves? What do? They gather some friends, they gather some food, they get into their truck, right? And they go out and have a picnic. Isn't that what people do? Have you ever done that? I hope so. Otherwise, you had a miserable life if you had never done that, right? You get a bunch of friends together, you get a bunch of food, and you go to have some picnic. So this Ratha Yatra festival, Lord Jagannath, after spending 15 days exclusively with his wife, Lakshmi Devi, he wants to go out and have a picnic. He wants to go and see his devotees because he knows his devotees are there waiting for him. So he gets on his cart. But how does he get on his cart? Today in Puri, for those of you who have never seen, we'll describe it as it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the Madhya Lila 14th chapter, the chariots are prepared in very grand, festive mode. They're huge, they're colossal. There's 3 chariots for Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. And they're decorated with big canopies, which are covered with cloth, yellow cloth, red cloth, all different ribbons. There's flowers everywhere. And a lot of mirrors are put on the cart. And the cart is painted in very colorful manner. So there's great anticipation and great jubilation. The crowd is outside. And now in Puri is the end of the summer season and just the beginning of the monsoon season. So it is very hot and very humid. So already by morning time, 8 o'clock, you're like soaking wet. It's so hot. And everybody's out there waiting because they have been waiting there for a couple of hours already. Because if you don't come early, you don't get a spot. So everybody's there waiting. When is Jagannath going to come out? When is he going to show up? So, and there's different groups of priests who blow conch shells and bang gongs and blow trumpets and do different types of activities. There's different ceremonies going on. And then who comes out first? Baldev. He comes first. Balaram, the older brother. He comes out first from the temple. And he's so big, he's so huge, that it takes dozens of priests to carry him. Because he is Baladeva. He's the supporter of the entire universe. So they're carrying his form, and they have to put him down on different pillows, which sometimes explode, and the cotton goes blowing all over in all directions. And meanwhile, there's kirtan, there is big, tumultuous chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he's being moved, and he's wearing a big headdress with peacock feathers and a lot of other types of decorations, which are extending many times higher than he is himself. And because his body is moving, so his headdress is moving back and forth like anything. And then slowly he's ascending the chariot. And then Subhadra, the sister, she's coming. They don't rock her. She's going very gently, very smoothly on her chariot. And then everybody's waiting. When is Jagannath coming? When is the Lord of the universe coming? So, when Lord Jagannath comes out, the crowd goes mad because they have been anticipating, they have been waiting. They have not seen Jagannath for 15 days. And they're so anxious to see him. So everybody rushes forward. And there is police, there is army, there is security personnel, and they have big long sticks. But the crowd doesn't mind. They just rush and try to get as close as possible. Can you imagine you have not seen your Lord for 15 days and you're so anxious that you practically just come running to the temple? So much eagerness, so much love is there to see Krishna. So it is very, very enthusing, very inspiring to see their devotion. So Lord Jagannath, he ascends his chariot, and before anything else can happen, when he is established on his chariot, they offer him some worship and special offerings of food and flowers, and coconuts are being broken. But the festival cannot start. He cannot start his journey because first the Gajapati, the king of Puri, he has to come. So they're carrying him on a palanquin. He's being carried on palanquin, and he's coming in full royal dress. And he appears in front of Jagannath, and he bows down humbly, and he takes up a broom with a golden handle, and he is humbly sweeping the road in front of Lord Jagannath. In this way, he's showing his humility, his service attitude, his subordination to Jagannath. And then after that, the Rath Yatra will start. But without the king coming and doing this seva, the Rath Yatra cannot start. So, 500 years ago, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present in Jagannath Puri, all his devotees arrived a few days prior to the Rath Yatra festival. Actually, they walked for several weeks from Navadvip, Bengal, down to Orissa to attend this Rath Yatra ceremony. Great journey, great trouble. Over 200 devotees. They came every year on this pilgrimage to Puri to take part in Rath Yatra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made sure that all the devotees had accommodation and prasad according to their needs. Like Haridas Thakur, he gave one very secluded kutir in a garden, very close to himself. And he knew exactly what every devotee needed. So we can see in this pastime of Rath Yatra how the Lord and his devotees reciprocate their affection and their love. Different devotees would bring different types of preparations from Navadvip that were only present in Bengal and not in Orissa. Like for instance, what is some preparations that are only there in Bengal and not in Orissa? Sandesh, yes. Rasgulla, yes. What else? Misti dahi, special shak, special spinach, dry spinach, wet spinach, brinjal, different type of eggplant preparations, different type of fried vegetables in mustard, all different types of Bengali preparations they would bring for Mahaprabhu. Because they knew Nimai loves this food. And they brought it just for him. They were so much anxious to see him and serve him. When they came to Puri, you see, when you go on pilgrimage and you arrive in a holy place, on the day you arrive, you're supposed to fast. And you're supposed to go take bath in the holy river or ocean or lake. And then the men, they shave their head and you fast all day. You go to the temple, you see the Lord. But what did the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? They did none of that. They arrived in Puri and they went straight to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and had Sankirtan and then they took prasad. So King Prataparudra was a little bit puzzled, a little bit bewildered. So he asked his assistants, what is happening? What are they doing? Don't they know there is some rules, some protocol to be followed here? And his assistant informed here, dear Gajapati, dear king, these rules are there for ordinary people, but these devotees, they're on a higher platform. As we have heard previously, affection transcends, or affection reconciles all seeming contradictions. All seeming contradictions are reconciled, they're solved by affection. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he welcomed them very warmly and made sure they had nice quarters. And they would perform Sankirtan every day. They had 4 different Sankirtan groups and they would perform congregational chanting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then yesterday it was Gundicha Marjana. Did you hear the class? They were very nicely reading the pastime of Gundicha Marjana. Because when Lord Jagannath goes on this journey to Gundicha, that temple has not been used for 1 entire year. So they go there and they clean that temple. And they're taking pots of water and brooms. And with hundreds of pots and hundreds of brooms, they're cleaning not only the temple room, not only the altar, but they're cleaning the mandap, they're cleaning the kitchen, they're cleaning the ceiling, they're cleaning the road, the assembly place, and there's thousands of devotees who are engaged in this activity. And they're bringing water and splashing water, and all you can hear is the chanting of Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari. And in this way, a grand festival of cleaning is taking place. Have you ever had a grand festival of cleaning? No. Sounds strange, right? When your mom asks you clean your room, you go like, oh, okay, got to pick up my stuff. Mara Govinda was saying today, I had to clean out some stuff, So we think like, oh, what a boredom. But anything that is connected with Krishna, it becomes a festival. Cleaning can become a festival. I was there once in Puri and we had Gundicha Marjana. But because foreigners, we're not allowed to go inside. So we were outside, and the road, there was a lot of dirt, there was a lot of garbage. So we're cleaning up the road, cleaning up the entrance. And Srila Radhanath Maharaj was there, and he was brushing with his jaru. And somebody from behind was pouring water on his feet. And somebody from the other side was begging water, and somebody was stealing the broom. And it was interesting. So they clean the Gundicha area because that is the place where Lord Jagannath will go, where he will reside. So, and it is compared to cleansing of the heart. If we want to invite the Lord into our hearts, we should make sure that the heart is a clean place. Because Krishna is Shuddhama Papa Vidham. He is the most pure. He's the personality which purifies everything. But a devotee does not want the Lord to reside in an impure place. So when we are inviting the Lord to reside in our heart, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, we are asking the Lord to reside in our heart. We are asking Him, please, Please reside in my heart. Please guide my life. Please give me direction and strength. I want to serve you. I want to please you. But when you have a guest, you don't tell him, oh, sit down in the garbage pile. Huh? That's not very nice, right? You don't feel very comfortable. But you want to give the best seat, the best possible asana for the guest, especially if the guest is a superior. What to speak of, it's the Lord. So, the devotees were cleaning with all enthusiasm and vigor. And then today, Rath Yatra, where the devotees are bringing Lord Jagannath and his brother Baladev and sister Subhadra from their original temple to the Gundicha on Grand Road. And it is a big celebration. And it is taking the whole day, sometimes more than the day. Because Lord Jagannath, he moves at his own speed. He does not go according to the time scale of the people. People think, oh, okay, we came now, when is this going to get over? Like here we can see people oftentimes, for certain functions, they come late and they leave early, right? They think, let me just catch that, that important part, like graduation. Okay, when is it going to be? So I come late and then I go early, so in this way I don't waste my time. But there, people know it's going to take all day and it may not finish. Oftentimes, Rath Yatra does not finish in one day. Because sometimes Jagannath Swami, he just doesn't move. His chariot just stops. And then they bring the elephants, they bring the wrestlers, they bring now trucks, but they cannot move it. Because if Jagannath says no go, then it's no go. Then the chariot won't move. In Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, this also happened. And nothing could move the chariot. Even though they brought the elephants, and they brought the wrestlers, and they brought the army, and they brought everybody, and everyone was pulling and pulling and pushing, and nothing would move the chariot of Lord Jagannath. Why not? Why was the chariot not moving? Because Lord Jagannath wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance. So he said, don't distract me with all this moving. I just want to see. I just want to see this kirtan. So then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at one point when he saw that the cart was not moving, he said, okay, let my intimate associates hold the ropes. So the elephants were moved away, and the wrestlers were moved away, and his devotees were just holding the ropes. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, personally, he went behind the cart of Lord Jagannath, and single-handedly with his head, he pushed the cart. And the cart started moving. Because Lord Jagannath was wondering, where has he gone? Where is he? I want to see him dance. Okay, let's move on. Let's carry on. I want to see this dancing. So this Jagannath Rath Yatra is a great festival of loving reciprocation between the Lord and his devotees. And of course, we know historically, 5,000 years ago, when there was solar eclipse, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan went to Kurukshetra to meet Krishna. They knew Krishna is now in Dwarka, he's there with all his queens and all his family members, but they have heard that he will be in Kurukshetra. Now you wonder how this communication is taking place. They did not have any internet, they did not have any phones, there was no kind of communication devices, but people knew what was going on. And nowadays we have so much technology and people know nothing about nothing. There's so much information, but there is no transformation. Today I was trying to read a book that some friend had given me, where he's trying to proclaim that now, because everybody has mobile phone and everybody's on the internet, that now we're living such a great life, because you can be everywhere. But then the second part is, when you're everywhere, you're nowhere. And the real experience that is happening has become much reduced due to this distraction and due to this agitation that is taking place in people's minds. So, the inhabitants of Vrindavan went to Kurukshetra to take part in this festival, this great sacrifice to see Krishna. And they saw Krishna on the chariot. It was the same Krishna, but there was so many elephants, there was so many soldiers, there was so much opulence, and they were simply lamenting, why don't you come back to Vrindavan? You're the same Krishna, we're the same gopis, but this situation is not acceptable. It is not very sweet. Let us take you back to Vrindavan. And they wanted to take the chariots, his reins, and just take him out of there. And the Dwarkavasis were, whoa, what if he goes? This is not good. So there was some tug of war going on. And Krishna had to appease them. He gave them solace. He spoke very kind words to them. So all this is being described in the scriptures. And this Rath Yatra festival is there to celebrate this wonderful event. We can read something from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 14th chapter. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed kirtan, there were 7 kirtan parties all around the chariots. And in every kirtan party, there was 2 mridanga players, several kartal players, 1 lead dancer, and a big group of devotees who was responding. Can I get the book? Because I can't read. There's too much sun there. I was just reflecting today. I read in Srimad Bhagavatam how Aditi was asking Kashyapa Muni for a boon, for a benediction, because her sons, the demigods, had lost the heavenly planets to the demons. So she was very much troubled and disturbed. And her husband, Kashyapa Muni, advised her that she should engage in sacrifice. She should engage in Dipayovrata, sacrifice to worship Lord Vishnu. Very much similar in the 6th canto. Who was it who was afflicted by distress? Diti. And also asked Kashyapa, same scenario, for a blessing. And he gave her the Pungsavana ceremony, where she should also worship Lord Vishnu in order to achieve the fulfillment of her desires. In the Bhagavatam it is stated, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It is stated that whether one is full of all material desires, one has desire for liberation, or one has no desires, if you simply worship the Lord, whatever you want, it will be granted. It will be given. So, here in this Rath Yatra pastime, we can see how the devotees have an intense desire to glorify the Lord through Sankirtan. Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sango Pangastar Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayayar Yajantihi Sumera Saha. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that in this age of Kali, in Kali Yuga, this dark age, the people who are intelligent, they're worshipping the Lord through the performance of Sankirtan, through the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it may sound very simple. It may sound very unsophisticated. But how many people actually can do it? Just before coming here, we went on a walk and we saw one engineer from Indian background, and he had a t-shirt on, Go Vegan, and he had his dog. And so we told him, Hare Krishna, are you coming to temple? And he said, no, I don't believe. Now, obviously, he's educated, otherwise he wouldn't be here. He wears a t-shirt, he's vegan. He has a big bulldog, pit bull. But no, I don't believe. Why? Too much information, but no transformation. Have you ever seen that syndrome in different people? Too much data, too much information, but no transformation. Not being able to connect the dots. And here we see that many of these devotees are seemingly simple, but they are completely connected with the reality, with this sublime state of love of Godhead. One time when Kirtan was going on, Srivas Pandit, he was watching Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance. Meanwhile, King Prataparudra wanted to come closer and see the Lord's dancing. So one of his assistants, Harishchandra, he tapped on Srivas Thakur's shoulder and was tapping on his shoulder like, move out of the way, the king wants to see the dancing. And Srivas was so absorbed in the dancing of the Lord that he just stood still and he didn't move, even though he was being tapped continuously in his shoulder. Till at one point he turned around and he slapped Harishchandra. And then he turned back and continued watching the Lord's dancing. And Harishchandra was startled, he was shocked. He wanted to speak to him. And King Prataparudra caught his hand and said, you are very fortunate. The devotees, Srivas Pandit's mercy has come upon you. You consider yourself very blessed because you got his favor. So, you can see a level of unconscious competence that is very rarely witnessed anywhere else, where devotees are so in tune with the internal potency of the Lord. They're so in sync with the internal desire of the Lord, reciprocating His love and His devotion in affection, that they're seemingly unaware of all the external situations that are going on. So we're reading from chapter 14 of the Madhya Lila. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Accompanied by his personal devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the festival known as Lakshmi Vijayotsav. There he discussed the super excellent love of the gopis. Just by hearing about them, he became very pleased and danced in great ecstasy, ecstatic love for the Lord. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gaurachandra. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Acharya, who is so exalted. All glories to all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. All glories to the readers who have taken Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as their life and soul. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting in ecstatic love, Maharaj Prataparudra entered the garden. I wanted to read the chapter before that. So it's 13th chapter. The Lord's dancing at the Rath Yatra. That's happening when you get carried away. You lose track of. Yes, please. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who danced in front of the car of Sri Jagannath, be all glorious. By seeing his dancing, not only was the whole universe held in wonder, but Lord Jagannath himself became very much astonished. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Chandra. All glories to the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to the listeners of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please hear the descriptions of the dancing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the Rath Yatra festival. His dancing is very enchanting. Please hear of it with great attention. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates got up in the dark and attentively took their early morning baths. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates then went to see the ceremony of Pandu Vijaya. During this ceremony, Lord Jagannath leaves his throne and gets up onto the car. King Prataparudra in person, as well as his entourage, allowed the Pandu Vijaya ceremony to be seen by all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his prominent devotees, Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu and others, were very happy to observe Lord Jagannath, how Lord Jagannath began the Rath Yatra. The very strongly built Daitas, carriers of Lord Jagannath, were as powerful as drunken elephants. They manually carried Lord Jagannath from the throne to the car. While carrying the deity of Lord Jagannath, some of the Daitas took hold of the shoulders of the Lord, and some caught his lotus feet. The Lord Jagannath deity was bound at the waist by a strong, thick rope made of silk. From two sides, the Daitas cut hold of this rope and raised the deity. Strong puffed-up cotton pads called tulis were spread out from the throne to the car, and the heavy deity of Lord Jagannath was carried from one pillow-like pad to the next by the Daitas. While the Daitas carried the heavy Jagannath deity from one pad to the next, some of the pads broke, and the cotton contents floated into the air. When they broke, they made a heavy cracking sound. Lord Jagannath is the maintainer of the whole universe. Who can carry him from one place to another? The Lord moves by his personal will just to perform his pastimes. While the Lord was transported from the throne to the car, tumultuous sounds were made on various musical instruments. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting, Manima, Manima, but he could not be heard. Purport. The word Manima is used to address a respectable person in Orissa. Lord Jagannath was being respectfully addressed by Sri Chaitanya in this way. While the Lord was being carried from the throne to the car, King Prataparudra personally engaged in the Lord's service by cleansing the road with a broom that had a golden handle. The king sprinkled the road with sandalwood-scented water. Although he was the owner of the royal throne, he engaged in menial service for the sake of Lord Jagannath. Although the king was the most exalted, respectable person, still he accepted menial service for the Lord. He therefore became a suitable candidate for receiving the Lord's mercy. Why was King Prataparudra a suitable candidate for the Lord's mercy? Because he performed menial service for the Lord. That is the qualification. Now we may say, oh, I'm a businessman, I'm an engineer, I'm a professor, doctor, lawyer, grandmother, whatever, AAA student. Oh, I can't do menial service. Like nowadays we see it's very common in many temples and churches and religious institutions because people are so busy working jobs, so then everything is outsourced. Everything is done by hired people. But actual seva means that everything is being done by the sevaks. Everything is being done by the people who are doing it to serve the Lord. So, because that is actually invoking the Lord's mercy. That is actually invoking the Lord's kindness. Not to criticize, not to diminish the help and assistance and contribution of the devotees who are serving in a different way, but when the opportunity arises to perform menial service, the devotees should be very eager to take that opportunity and render that service to the Lord and his devotees. Because that is qualifying the devotee to become a suitable candidate for receiving the Lord's mercy. Upon seeing the king engage in such menial service, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. Simply by rendering this service, the king received the mercy of the Lord. Purport: unless one receives the mercy of the Lord, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead or engage in his devotional service. We can chant together. Atapite deva padam bujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanyopiko chiran vichinvan. A devotee who has received even a small fraction of the mercy of the Lord can understand him. Others may engage in theoretical speculation to understand the Lord, but they cannot know anything about him. Who quoted this verse? Brahma, yes, but somebody else quoted this verse. Gopinath Acharya to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And he was telling him, you're simply a dry logician. You cannot understand this because you have not received the mercy of the Lord. Even though you're very intelligent, but because you have not received the mercy of the Lord, you cannot understand him. You need to get the mercy of his devotees. Otherwise, no access code. You cannot enter into this mystery. Although Maharaj Prataparudra was very eager to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord refused to see him. You remember the story? King Prataparudra wanted to see Lord Chaitanya. He asked for darshan, but he was not granted darshan because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi. And sannyasis in those days were very strict. Renunciates could not mix with politicians. They were completely aloof. So he said, even though he's a nice devotee, but because he has this word, king, I cannot see him. He was not going to see him. But King Prataparudra, he felt, my life is useless. If I cannot see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then I'm simply wasting my life. So he was getting desperate. And he sent message that I'm renouncing my kingdom and I'm becoming a mendicant. I will put what kind of a ring? An ivory earring in my ear, and I will give up my kingdom and I will just go and become a mendicant. So everybody got frightened. You know, when the king threatens to become a mendicant, when he says, I'm dropping out, I'm quitting the job, everybody becomes shocked. Like sometimes when things get too heavy in the house, right? Sometimes it happens. The lady of the house, the mother, she says, that's it, I'm done, I'm quitting. And she starts walking out. Have you ever seen this kind of scenario? No? You have, right? Basta! No more, right? And she walks out. And everybody goes like, oh, no. Mama, stay, it's okay. Cool down, right? Everybody becomes. So when the king says, I'm out of here, everybody got really anxious. They really got disturbed. So they were going to Mahaprabhu and pleading with him. And Mahaprabhu said, yeah, very nice. You can all stay with him and be nice with him, but I will go. If you want to hang with the king, that's okay, but then I will go and leave. So they were like, okay, either the king leaves or Mahaprabhu leaves. So what should we do? How are we going to reconcile this situation? As we spoke earlier, affection reconciles all seeming contradictions. Because they had love and affection for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord, in their heart of hearts, gave them the intelligence how they could solve this problem, this dichotomy. Because the king wanted to have darshan of the Lord, but he was seemingly not allowed to have this darshan. So we'll hear. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the king engaged in menial service for Lord Jagannath, he became very happy. Thus the king became eligible to receive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. If a devotee accepts Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the universal guru and Lord Jagannath as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, he is benefited by the combined mercy of Krishna and Guru. That is stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his instructions to Rupa Goswami. Brahmande Brahmite Khona Bhagavana Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. The seed of devotional service fructifies and becomes a transcendental creeper. Finally, it reaches the lotus feet of the Lord in the spiritual sky. This seed is obtained by the mercy of the Lord and the Guru. By the Lord's mercy, one gets the association of a bona fide Guru. And by the mercy of the Guru, one gets a chance to render devotional service. Devotional service, the science of Bhakti Yoga, carries one from this material world to the spiritual world. So the devotees, they made a plan where they would periodically glorify the king to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and speak about his good qualities, how he was doing so much service, how he was so helpful and supportive of the Vaishnavas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart softened, and gradually, as we hear later on, he agreed to see King Prataparudra. During the Ratha Yatra ceremony, after all the dancing and chanting, at some point, the chariots stop near a park, and the Lord is having his picnic on his chariot, and the devotees relax also there in that park. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being so exhausted from dancing, he just laid down in that park. And King Prataparudra took on the simple dress of a sadhu, of a mendicant. And he came and he started massaging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. He started giving him foot massage, started massaging his legs and chanting Gopi Gita. Tavakatamritam tapta jivanam kabibiriditam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvigrinantiye Bhuridhajana. He was chanting this beautiful poetry, these beautiful verses from Gopi Gita, from 10th canto Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became so enamored, he became so captivated by this beautiful chanting of Prataparudra Maharaj that he said, Bhuridhajana, Bhuridhajana, you are the most glorious, you are the most magnanimous. And he got up and he embraced him tightly. And then he asked him, who are you? Who are you? Now what would Prataparudra Maharaj answer? When you're in front of the Lord, you cannot speak lies. But he knew that the Lord had avoided seeing him because he has this title. So what did he say? Sorry, class is over. We'll continue discussing next week. What did he say? What did he tell him? Not just I'm your servant, he said, I'm the simple servant of your servants of your servants. Huh? And Mahaprabhu was very pleased. Of course he knew it was the king, because he's omniscient. But he was pleased with the humble service attitude of Prataparudra Maharaj, and that's why he accepted him. So in the similar way, if we also engage in humble service, in menial service for the Lord and his devotees, we can captivate, we can attract the Lord's attention and mercy. But it requires patience and enthusiasm. In Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami is speaking about these qualities. Utsaha nishayadharya tatat karma pravartanat sangotyaga satovrite sadvir bhakti prasedati. That 6 qualities are very conducive for the performance of bhakti. And the first 2 are utsaha and nishchayat. Enthusiasm and patience. If we engage with these 2 qualities, we can actually attract, we can capture the Lord's attention. So, in the Narada Purana, it is stated in the Uttarakanda, Narayana is speaking to Lakshmi that whoever sees me riding on my chariot, whoever helps in this Ratha Yatra ceremony, I will take him back to Vaikuntha. That's pretty powerful. So we should all make a conscious effort to take part in Rath Yatra. It's taking place in San Francisco on the 30th of July, very soon. And we all have opportunity to go there and see Lord Jagannath on his cart and take part in this ceremony and help pull the Rath, bring some offering, do some menial service. There's going to be thousands and thousands of people who come, because part of Jagannath's Rath Yatra festival is that the Lord, who usually resides in his temple, he comes out to give his blessings to everybody. So he's giving darshan to everybody, and he's also giving prasad to everybody. Now that requires a little bit of effort on behalf of the devotees. Like in Puri, during the festival, they're cooking for all these hundreds of thousands of pilgrims, lakhs and lakhs of people who come. They all get prasad. They all get prasad. You may wonder, how is it possible? Where does all this cooking take place? Where is all this food coming from? It happens. You have to go there and witness. So, it requires the consolidated effort of all the devotees. So, to make Krishna available and accessible for the people of this world, this is the mission of the devotees of the Lord. That is their meditation. How can I give darshan? How can I give mercy of Krishna, of the Lord, to all living entities? That is the life of a devotee. How can I share Krishna with others? That is should be our meditation. In this way, if we are absorbed in this meditation, then all our plan making, all our managing, all our expertise in making elaborate arrangements will find its perfection. Otherwise, what are we trying to do? We're simply building castles of sand. Simply building castles of sand. They may be very nice castles, but still they're castles of sand. Because nothing in this world can withstand the forces of time. Everyone was astonished to see the decorations on the Rath cart. The cart appeared to be newly made of gold, and it was as high as Mount Meru. The decorations included bright mirrors and hundreds of chamaras, white whisks made of yak tails. On top of the car were a neat and clean canopy and a very beautiful flag. The car was also decorated with silken cloth and various pictures. Many brass bells, gongs, and ankle bells rang. For the pastimes of Rath Yatra ceremony, Lord Jagannath got aboard one car, and his sister Subhadra and elder brother Balaram got aboard 2 other cars. For 15 days, the Lord had remained in a secluded place with the Supreme Goddess of Fortune and had performed his pastimes with her. Having taken permission from the Goddess of Fortune, the Lord came out to ride onto the Rath car and perform his pastimes for the pleasure of the devotees. The fine white sand spread all over the path resembled the bank of the Jamuna, and the small gardens on both sides looked just like those in Vrindavan. As Lord Jagannath rode in his car and saw the beauty on both sides, his mind was filled with pleasure. The pullers of the car were known as Godas, and they pulled with great pleasure. However, the car sometimes went very fast and sometimes very slow. Sometimes the car would stand still and not move, even though it was pulled very vigorously. The chariot therefore moved by the will of the Lord, not by the strength of any ordinary person. As the car stood still, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gathered all his devotees and with his own hand decorated them with flower garlands and sandalwood pulp. So, when Srila Prabhupada, our founder, was living in Calcutta, he was only 5 years old. And he wanted to go to Puri so much. He said that very regularly I went to the train station to see the timetable. When is the train for Puri leaving? He was anxious to go and see Puri Rath Yatra. Then when he was 5 years old, with his father, he asked his father to give him a Rath cart. He wanted to perform festival of Rath Yatra. And one lady, she gave them her old cart. And they were having in their neighborhood Rath Yatra festival for 8 days. And they engaged all the ladies in cooking, massive bhoga to offer to Jagannath. And the children would perform this Rath Yatra festival in the neighborhood. And everyone was amazed at how beautiful and magnificent this festival was taking place under the guidance of Abhay, this small 5-year-old boy. And you could see Srila Prabhupada's love and dedication and his meditation on bringing Jagannath to the world. Later on, when Lord Jagannath appeared as a small doll that one devotee found in a store. What's the name of that shop here on the...
World Market.
The World Market, yes. In a store like that, she had picked up a little statue of Jagannath and she brought it to him. It looked like something from India, so she thought, looks nice. She brought it. So Prabhupada, when he saw it, he immediately went and paid his obeisances, touched his head to the floor. And he asked her, were there any others? She said, yeah, there were some others. So she went and she got Baladeva and Subhadra also, little dolls. She asked, who is this? He said, this is God. This is the Lord of the universe. And they were all totally, what? This is God? How can this be God? So he explained. And then he asked Shyamasundar, can you carve this? And he said, yes, because he's a carpenter. So he got a big log and he made deities, big deities of Lord Jagannath that you can still see in Berkeley in the temple. They're the original Jagannath deities. And Prabhupada, one time he came to Shyamasundar's apartment to check on the progress of the carving. And he saw there was a pack of cigarettes, Pall Mall, on the head of Jagannath because he was still smoking. So Prabhupada took his cane and he pushed the cigarettes away. And he said, don't let this little cigarette come between you and Krishna. What you do is every day you smoke one cigarette less. And in this way you give it up. And Shyamasundar felt so touched by his compassionate attitude and his kind and forgiving nature that that very same day he gave up smoking. He's telling in his book that initially they were attached to all kinds of habits. They would go to the temple to kirtan, and outside they had all their dogs outside. And then in between kirtan and class, they went outside, had a smoke, and then he came back in like that. It's very hard for them to break with their habits. But because Srila Prabhupada was very kind and merciful, he gave everyone a chance to get the mercy of Lord Jagannath. So gradually, people became attached. They became attracted to what? To doing devotional service. So we should be attached to doing seva. We should be attached to having some seva. So we should ask ourselves, what's my seva? What's my contribution? Yesterday we had one program in San Francisco near Golden Gate Park. And one lady came. She's Italian descent but grew up in Scotland. And she had a Japanese guitar, a very interesting, kind of strange string instrument. Took her a long time to assemble it. And it sounded quite esoteric. And like some type of a veena. So she was playing that instrument. And our host had warned us that this person is not religious. He's not interested in religion, not interested in philosophy, not interested in anything that you're doing. But we know she's interested in music. So he said, okay, can you play? So she started, ding, 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 dong, ding, ding, dong, dong, ding, ding, ding. And she said that oftentimes it sounds like a cat which is caught in the doorway, Like if a cat gets caught between the door, like that. So, but she's quite talented, so she started playing some of her songs, and we just chanted Hare Krishna in some interesting jazzy kind of a tune, improvisation, because we saw that this is her seva, this is her chance to do some service. She won't go to temple, she won't offer worship. She won't be assisting in ceremonies or hearing scripture because she doesn't connect to that. But she can connect to music. So that was Srila Prabhupada's expertise, his greatness, that he saw what is the ability, what is the tendency, what is the desire of the individual. How can I take that? How can I engage that talent for Krishna? That should be our meditation. And that is preaching. Preaching doesn't mean that you go out and you start screaming and shouting at people, telling them how bad they are, and you throw books at them or you throw other things at them. No. Preaching means to recognize the potential. Preaching means to see the ability and to fan that spark. Just like that brahmachari who went out, or sannyasi, who got ashes and then used it to polish the brass. And that person got the benefit from it. Just like here, when we walk around in Mountain View, what do you mostly see when you walk around? Mexicans, yes, exactly. Mexicans, because California was Mexico before. So there's still a lot of people who are from Hispanic background. But I guarantee you, if you carry small books, 95% will take a book. You just say, we're from the church, can you please give $1? Misionarios, $1, per favor. They will give you, I guarantee you. We just did the test right now before coming, because they're very pious. You may have software engineers who will tell you, I don't believe. But they will give. So the point I'm trying to make is, no matter what our background is, if we see that propensity and we engage it, and we do not feel, oh, this is a person from a different language, from a different culture, from a different country, I can't speak to this person, he won't understand me. Love is universal. This year is the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love. And what is the theme? What is the main song? All You Need Is Love by George Harrison. That is their Mahavakya. That is their great theme song of this summer. If we truly imbibe that bhakti, that love of Krishna, that love of God in our heart, people will be able to connect. They will be able to understand. They will be able to appreciate. But if we get caught up in translation issues, if we get caught up in cultural differences and in other types of socio-demographics, then people will have a hard time to relate. We were up on Haight Street day before, no, it was yesterday, and day before. And now there is the Pride Parade. Have you heard of the Pride Parade? There's a big demonstration going on. People flying in from all over the world to be proud, to show their pride. But the devotees, because they are nirmana moha, jita sangha dosha, they're prideless. They're free from pride. They're trying to serve by making Krishna's mercy accessible. Even though people are proud of so many things and have so many different types of motivations, attitudes, different types of confusions, when we're simply trying to make Krishna's mercy available and accessible and not to block it, not to get in the way, people can connect and they can appreciate. And they will take to this process of Krishna consciousness in one way or the other. Brahmananda Puri and Brahmananda Bharati were both personally given garlands and sandalwood pulp from the very hands of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This increased their transcendental pleasure. Similarly, when Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu felt the touch of the transcendental hand of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were very pleased. The Lord also gave garlands and sandalwood pulp to the performers of Sankirtan. The two chief performers were Swarup Damodar and Srivas Thakur. There were altogether 4 parties of kirtan performers, comprising 24 chanters in each party. There were also 2 mridanga players, making an additional 8 persons. When the 4 parties were formed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after some consideration, divided the chanters. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Nityananda Prabhu, Advaitacharya, Haridas Thakur, and Vakreshwar Pandit to dance in each of the 4 respective parties. Swarup Damodar was chosen as the leader of the first party and was given 5 assistants to respond to his chanting. The 5 who responded to the singing of Swarup Damodar were Damodar Pandit, Narayan Govinda Datto, Raghava Pandit, and Sri Govinda Nandan. Advaitacharya Prabhu was ordered to dance in the first group. The Lord then formed another group with Srivas Thakur as the chief man. The 5 singers who responded to the singing of Srivas Thakur were Gangadas, Haridas, Shriman, Shubhananda, and Sri Ram Pandit. Sri Nityananda Prabhu was appointed as a dancer. Another group was formed consisting of Vasudev, Gopinath, and Murari. All these were responsive singers, and Mukunda was the chief singer. Another 2 persons, Shrikanta and Vallabh Sena, joined as responsive singers. In this group, the senior Haridas Thakur, was the dancer. The Lord formed another group, appointing Govinda Ghosh as leader. In this group, the younger Haridas, Vishnudas, and Raghava were the responding singers. 2 brothers named Madhava Ghosh and Vasudev Ghosh also joined this group as responsive singers. Rakeshwar Pandit was the dancer. There was a Sankirtan party from the village known as Kulinagram, and Ramananda and Satyaraj were appointed the dancers in this group. There was another party that came from Shantipur and was formed by Advaitacharya. Achyutananda was the dancer, and the rest of the men were singers. Another party was formed by the people of Khanda. These people were singing in a different place. In that group, Narahari Prabhu and Raghunandan were dancing. 4 parties chanted and danced in front of Lord Jagannath, and on either side was another party, yet another was at the rear. There were altogether 7 parties of Sankirtan, and in each party 2 men were beating drums. Thus 14 drums were being played at once. The sound was tumultuous, and all the devotees became mad. All the Vaishnavas came together like an assembly of clouds as the devotees chanted the holy names in great ecstasies. Tears fell from their eyes like rain. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When the Sankirtan resounded, it filled the 3 worlds. Indeed, no one could hear any sounds or musical instruments other than the Sankirtan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wandered through all 7 groups, chanting the holy name. Hari Hari. Raising his arms, he shouted, all glories to Lord Jagannath. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then exhibited another mystic power by performing pastimes simultaneously in all 7 groups. Everyone said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present in my group. Indeed, he doesn't go anywhere else. He is bestowing his mercy upon us. Actually, no one could see the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Only the most confidential devotees, those in pure, unalloyed devotional service, could understand. Lord Jagannath was very much pleased by the Sankirtan, and he brought his car to a standstill just to see the performance. King Prataparudra was also astonished to see the Sankirtan. He became inactive and was converted to ecstatic love of Krishna. One time we were in Puri at Rath Yatra, and it got so late, everything was so much delayed, that Lord Jagannath had to sleep on the car. Midway, on the road, everything stopped. And most people went home because they only came for the day. And they had to return to their hometowns. But during the day of Rath Yatra, there were so many kirtan groups from all these different places that it wasn't as harmonic and as well organized as here under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guidance. It was quite a chaos. All different groups trying to play and trying to move. So it was quite a colorful scene. But the next day, everyone had gone home, and it was ISKCON Rath Yatra. There was only the ISKCON Kirtan, and we went with Jagannath all the way to Gundicha. So, on that same festival, One time I brought a whole bag of books to distribute, and I was wanting to distribute the books, but I saw there's so many people there, and I thought, what am I doing? Am I trying to sell ice cubes to the Eskimos? I mean, these people are all Hindus. Like, they're all going for Rath Yatra festival. So they're all, it's their tradition, it's their culture. So why do I need to give them a book? I was getting a little doubtful. Have you ever been doubtful like that? Like when you go on book distribution, you think, everybody is already believing in some God or in some path or following some religion. So why should I bother them and give them a book? But then I was looking and watching, and I saw one guy was smoking, another person was eating fish, another person was talking badly, some people were fighting. I said, no, these people need the books. I need to give them the books. They're not there yet. It may look like they're there, but they're not there yet. So, but it was so hot, and it was so humid. And I thought and my bag was so heavy, Like, when it's hot and you have like no strength in your body, and you're like, I can't carry this, just put it down. And it was so many people, you almost get squished. Have you ever, this is a rhetorical question, have you ever been riding a local train in Mumbai or, and you feel like you feel like a sardine in a box. So I was thinking, how can I distribute books? How is it possible? So as I was thinking like that, all of a sudden, there was thunder and huge, massive rainstorm came. Just like out of nowhere. It just started thundering, and the sky cracked open and rain came pouring down. Like somebody opened the switch, and like just the heavens started pouring down. And the entire Puri got washed out. Completely drenched, soaked, washed out. Just before the Rath Yatra. And I thought, wow, this is perfect, Like Jagannath says, okay, all right, are you ready, guys? We're going to clean the road now, okay? All right, boom. Let's wash this place out. And then everything was cool and nice, and I came out with my little bag, and the books went in no time. So, everything is controlled by the Lord. Whether we can see it, whether we can appreciate it, that is up to us. A devotee sees everything in his or her life connected to Krishna. We do not see anything as separate, as detached from Krishna. So this Rath Yatra festival is a wonderful festival where the devotees are pulling the Lord on the chariot back into their hearts, and they want to capture Him. They want to keep Him in their heart of hearts and worship Him. But how can we get the Lord's mercy? By getting the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. When the Lord and His devotees see that we are engaged in menial service, then their mercy is available. There's so many forms of menial service that we can do. You can do chapel seva, you can do cushion seva, like Prabhu is doing, or you can do chapel seva outside. Shoes are all over the place, right? So you put the shoes nicely. You can go around this Krishna's temple. Sometimes there's people who throw trash into the garden or in the parking lot. You pick it up. You can clean the temple room, clean the kitchen, the bathroom. So much cleaning can be done. Cleaning is ongoing. Nityam. Especially here in the desert of California. There's always plenty of dust to clean. This is not like Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha there is no dirt because it's clean. But still the Lakshmi is there engaging in cleaning. Because that is their seva. So, if we want to do menial service, if we want to do seva, there is always seva available. But the most pleasing service to the Lord is when we give His mercy to others. By giving prasad, by giving invitation, by giving books, by helping people, by speaking to them, by counseling them, by sharing our hearts with them. That is very pleasing to Krishna. That is seva. We shouldn't think, oh, I'm fine, I'm doing okay. So to take compassion, to take mercy upon others and make the mercy of Lord Jagannath available to everyone, that is the plan. That is the meditation of the devotees. As we can see here in these pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Srila Prabhupada, he created this mission of ISKCON to spread Lord Jagannath's mercy all over the world. By his sacrifice and endeavor, there is over 750 temples. And Ratha Yatra is happening in all the major cities of the world. That is quite an accomplishment. That is quite something extraordinary. Because in most traditions, the Lord is just staying in the temple, in the church, in the mosque, in the synagogue. He's there, and you have to go there. And if you're lucky, the door is open. If you're not lucky, mostly the door is locked. Has it ever happened to you? You went to temple or church or whatever and it was locked? It can happen, even here, sometimes. But because of Ratha Yatra, Jagannath comes out and he gives his mercy, his darshan to everybody. He gives his prasad to everybody. So that should be our mood. That should be our spirit. How can we make the Lord accessible to all living entities? So it is a cultural mission, a mission to give the Lord's mercy to all living entities. This Monday we were driving His Holiness Radhanath Swami from Fremont to San Rafael, and we were asking him about his vision for San Francisco. And he said, because New York and San Francisco have been so dear to Prabhupada, because they're the first two cities where this mission started, and because our presence has not been very strong in these two cities in the last few years or decades, that's why now a special effort is required to again jumpstart and again revitalize the mission in these two cities. Just like when your leg or your arm has been in a cast and you have atrophy, your muscles are not working properly, you want to again start moving it. It requires a special effort and there's a little bit of pain involved. So I asked him, so what should we do? And he said, you just have to go out there and you have to be enthusiastic and you have to be patient. And you have to struggle for Krishna. And then he laughed. So, in this world, everything we want to do is a struggle. Have you ever struggled? Has it ever happened to you? So much struggle, right, in this world? For so many things. So why not struggle for Krishna? Why not use that ability to endeavor for something sublime? What do people struggle for? They struggle to get ahead, to cut the line. They struggle to get a little more, to be a little faster, for so many things that are actually pretty worthless. But why not struggle and endeavor to try to please the Lord, to do some service for Him? That is an honorable effort. We all have been given so much. We have been given so much talents. We have been given so much opulence, so much resources, so much opportunities. But what are we doing with it? Are we seeing what we have and using it for the Lord, or are we seeing what we don't have? Oh, somebody has more. People always read these magazines about the famous and rich people, and then they become depressed. Right? Right, yeah. Instead of seeing, oh, I'm privileged. I have so much. I have so much opportunity. I have so much ability. Krishna has invested so much resources and talents into each and every living entity. It's unbelievable. All these faculties, all these abilities that we have, they're talents which are given to us by Krishna. They can be taken away at any moment. You see sometimes people, they just go They just lose their memory. Or they just lose a certain ability to do something. Become incapacitated. It can happen. So let us use our talents, our ability, our strength, our resources, everything that is at our disposal. Pranair arthair dhiya vacha. And especially our words for the service of the Lord. Nowadays there's so much mundane sound vibration, so much mundane talk, so much mundane discussions going on. Why not discuss about Krishna? Why not discuss about the Lord? How to spread Krishna consciousness? That is meaningful discussion. That is something that's actually relevant. So these are some of the topics that I wanted to discuss. We have time for some questions. Yes, Prabhu. We have microphone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the very wonderful and inspiring lecture, which is so relevant. So I liked your point where you mentioned that Lord Jagannath is the Lord actually who is coming out to give his darshan and mercy to everyone. So I was just contemplating on that and just wanted to ask you how in that mood like we can help the Lord and to distribute his mercy. What are the different options that's open for us?
Thank you. Depending on our personal situation and our talent, we have different options. I can just speak for myself. I was 15 years old and I went to a summer camp on our farm in Switzerland. And they had Rath Yatra festival on that farm. It was a big farm. And thousands of people came for that festival. And I was a young boy, 15 years of age. So I helped wherever I could in the kitchen and serving prasad. But I really like photography. So I had a camera. So I would take pictures and then I would give them to devotees. And so I was really mesmerized by Lord Jagannath in front of the cornfields, you know. Like, you know, when corn grows, there's these nice green plants everywhere. And I took pictures of him. And I was thinking in my heart of hearts, you know, I'm stuck in school and I have to do this and I have to do that and they want me to go to study and they want me to get a job. But if you somehow can get me out of here, you know, I would try to do some service for you. You know, you have these desperation prayers sometimes when you say like, okay, if this works out, you know, I'll be a good boy. I'll try to get my act together and do something for you. Okay? And then Krishna somehow miraculously solves your problem, right? He just makes it happen. Boom. Everything is solved. But then he sees, okay, are you carrying on with your side of the bargain? Are you going to do your part? Or was it just something nice to say because you were in anxiety? Huh? Sometimes we make these, you know, prayers. But then when the Lord responds, are we ready to also do our part? So everybody has different ability and potential. If we use that, that will be quite sufficient. We don't have to do somebody else's duty. We have to do our own duty. As Bhagavad Gita says, even though we may do our own duty imperfectly, that is better than doing someone else's duty perfectly. Like I was driving my Guru Maharaj, and he said, you drive and I control the air conditioning. So, and it's very hard because I'm in Ishvara Bhav, you know, it's my, especially if I'm in the driver's seat. Right? You know how it is. When you drive a car, you kind of become a different person. Have you ever noticed that sometimes? Like that? So, and he put it quite high. And just as a reflex, I try to put it down. And he was like, tapping my hand, said, you have to do your duty, even if you do it imperfectly, but don't do somebody else's duty. Okay? Okay, Guru Maharaj, all right, okay. You know, like I can't look over, I have to look on the road. Okay, stay serious, stay focused. So sometimes the mind tells us, let me do somebody else's job because I like to do that more. No, we have to do our duty. We all have our God-given talents and our challenges. So when we endeavor with honest means, Krishna will be pleased. Now in Rath Yatra, there is people who come from far and wide, and they may just offer some fruit, some flour. They may just throw it in the air. It may never even reach the cart, what to speak of Lord Jagannath. But Lord Jagannath is the Lord of the universe. He accepts. There's people all over Puri. They offer him gifts. They offer him food. They offer him songs. They offer him prayers. He accepts and he reciprocates because he's not limited. That is his beauty. We are limited. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations even to spiritual master. And we think Guru has to reciprocate. Oh, he didn't look at me. Even once. He doesn't like me. Or he looked so serious. But it's not possible to physically reciprocate with an unlimited amount of people. Just like if you have 5,000 students and every student writes you 1 letter per year, how many letters is that per day? Come on, engineers, work with me, people. 5,000 students write 1 letter per year. How many letters do you have to read and answer per day? 15 to 16 letters. Have you ever answered 15 or 16 letters, like 7-page letters, with little stories and little question marks and little... No, it's not possible, right? You can't do it. So why do we expect people to do things that are just humanly not possible? So we have to see what is actually possible. And then do that with devotion. Because Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami pretatmanaha. Whoever offers me with devotion a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water, I will accept it. Yesterday, one lady in the program in San Francisco, she asked, I'm doing offering for the Lord, but how do I know that the Lord actually accepts it? How do I know? How can I be sure that He actually accepts it? Unless you read Bhagavad Gita and you hear His words where He says, yes, I will accept it if there is bhakti, if there is devotion. I'll accept it. He's not asking for big things, but devotion is the key ingredient. If that is there, He'll accept it. He has given that statement. Now we should not argue and question. And of course it's good to feel deficient, to feel, oh, I'm humble, my offering is not good enough. But we shouldn't doubt. We should not doubt, oh, has this actually reached the Lord? We know from the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some devotees were so much in love with the Lord that their method of worship was quite unorthodox, was quite ecstatic. Some of them, they just offered preparations and just threw it in the air. And just said, eat, eat. And they would just throw it, eat, and throw it. And then the next day the Lord came and said, I have indigestion. And then they asked why. He said, you should know why. You made me eat all this stuff, that you threw in the air. So, Krishna reciprocates with his devotee. Other questions?
I have one more follow-up question. You very nicely also explained how Prataprudra Maharaj, when he was so humble on different occasions, repeatedly actually. So first time the Harichandan case with Shribash, and secondly when he encountered personally with Mahaprabhu, he was genuinely humble and he said, I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of your servants. So you very expertly brought out this essential quality that is very pleasing to the Lord, that is humility. But for our sake, would you please define and elaborate more on this very essential quality, humility? What is humility? What do you mean by that, and how we can actually, practically practice it?
Humility means simplicity, and simplicity means no duplicity. We do not have an ulterior motive. We're not putting up a show bottle, a front. Oh yeah, I'm a very humble and nice and pious person. But then as soon as the test comes, and the test will come, then our true colors show, our real self manifests. But a humble person is a sincere person where the outside and the inside is the same. It's not a matter of show, because you can't impress Krishna nor the Vaishnavas. So to be humble means not to be pretentious, not to try to project some image. And of course we're in the land of Hollywood and Bollywood, where everybody tries to, be a smooth talker and flaunt, the word flaunting? Project some image because you have to impress or try to score or try to just maintain status quo, because if people think I'm somewhat deficient, then I won't make it in this rat race. Well, we got news for you. First of all, you're not a rat, okay? So stop the race, okay? Don't get into it. If you don't like the game, don't play it. We have to choose our battles. We have to know who are my friends. We have to know what is actually beneficial and what is a disturbance to my life. Otherwise, if our values and our lifestyle gets compromised, then we may be in a very compromised situation, which is not at all desirable. So, to be humble means that we accept the teachings of the Lord. Now, to strictly follow the simple path may be a little difficult, because we have been trained to be complicated, to be sophisticated, to be always trying to see, okay, where does this go? What is his purpose? What does he mean with that? So to actually accept the words of the Lord as truth and to abide by the instructions of the Lord. Dharma svanustita pungsa vishvakshena katha suyat notparaya yadiratim shrama eva kevalam. If we follow the path of the Lord, even if we do so in a simple way, it is always assured success. But the endeavors of those who are simply trying to maneuver and to make their own move in this world, even though they may look very grand, they may look very elaborate, but it's Shrama Eva Kevalam. It's simply a waste of time. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given his Shikshashtaka instruction, Trinarapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnuna Amanena Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari, that a person who is not looking for respect but is giving respect to others, who is more tolerant and patient than a tree, and is devoid of all sense of false prestige, just like the grass, who is being trampled upon. Such a person can always chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But as soon as the mind projects some sort of image, oh no, you are somebody, and therefore you cannot be a simple and happy devotee, then immediately the person will say, no, I'm a scientist, I'm a this, I'm a that. Oh no, I can't chant. So, this simplicity and this humility is an essential part of Vaishnavism, and we should cultivate it on a daily basis. In our sadhana, in our seva, in our study, and especially in our relationship with all living entities. That we do not allow ourselves to become compromised by these qualities which will stifle our devotion. It doesn't mean that you're not competitive in the marketplace. It doesn't mean that you become a loser. It doesn't mean all those things. It just means you understand who is the Lord, who are his devotees, who are the envious, who are the innocent, and how do I engage with all these different personalities. That is true humility. Any other points? We need microphone, otherwise the audience will not hear your words. Please.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Don't you think that our mind and bodies are struggling so hard to get the Lord here when He is already here?
Yes, the Lord is present everywhere. At the same time, separation, love in separation is something very endearing. Have you ever been separated from a beloved one? Like now you're here in Mountain View, and some of your family may be in a different place, right? And you think of them, and your love increases because of that separation. So even though they're always present in your memory, they're always present, in the same way the Lord is always present in His Brahman feature, He's everywhere. In His Paramatma feature, He's in the heart of every living entity. But in His Bhagavan feature, in His personal feature, He's also present in the altar, in the deity. He's present in His original form. So the devotee is always anxious to have that personal contact. Not that you tell your relative, oh yeah, I'm always there with you. I won't come see you for your birthday because I'm always there with you, you know. You just think of me and that will be sufficient. They say, no, we want you. You have to come. So do not subscribe to the impersonal view. It is one level of understanding that the Lord is everywhere. But it is a higher reality that we want to be personally interacting with the Lord in love. Because you cannot have a loving relationship with Brahman. It's not possible. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Puran gives these different levels of understandings. Vadanti tattva tavidas tattvam yajgyanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So here, we're trying to reach that higher stage of personal relationship and reciprocation. And of course, we know the Lord is in the heart. But at the same time, that separation is bringing out intense love and intense desire to come closer to the Lord, because Krishna is only captured and is only attracted by pure love. And that is the meaning, the purpose of Rath Yatra. Thank you for asking. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful class. I like the point which you mentioned about how we can get the mercy of the Lord by doing menial service. I have a question on the same line. Like sometimes you have some menial service or any services, and you can take for granted saying that this is not my service, someone else can come and do it. So how do you like balance it, or how do you decide?
Well, if somebody offers you service and it is within your ability to perform that service, then we should see, oh, this is Krishna's opportunity, giving me this opportunity, this chance to do that. If I would just say, no, I don't want to do it, it's not my service. Well, somebody was inspired to ask you, but if you have other service, we should not neglect service in the name of service. If you have some other service to do, you should not neglect that service for the sake of doing service. But sometimes we have to juggle and we have to do the needful. Like being a mother, you see so many mothers are there. And, to keep the household going and to keep the kids happy and the husband and the job and the this and the that and the cooking and the clean. It's like that little Chinese guy in the circus, keeping all the balls in the air, keeping all the sticks moving so nothing falls down. But we cannot neglect something for the sake of something else. And then here everything falls apart. And there it looks very nice. So the key message of Bhagavad Gita is balance. We have to be balanced. In the same way, sometimes devotees, in the name of service, they are neglecting their personal sadhana, they're neglecting their own studies, their spiritual practice, or even their health, and they get weak. So you have to have balance. So, but when there is emergency and when Krishna gives us these opportunities, most likely I have seen it's better to take it than to say, no, it's not my service, it's not my problem. It's very easy to say, oh, not my problem. Right? Very easy to say. Life goes on. I already do my bit. But you can see that those people who excel, those people who actually make spiritual advancement, they're the ones who look for that extra opportunity. They look for that extra surrender, that extra opportunity of service. And in this way, they attract the favor of the Lord. Just like in a company, you see those who are eager, those who are anxious, those who are actually interested in making a contribution, they get promotion. They get a different type of reciprocation than those who just do the minimum and say, hey, I did my part, okay? Now it's, So, Krishna consciousness, Bhakti Yoga is not being a minimalist. It's not just doing our routine. But when we're faced with opportunities, we should try to take them. And sometimes then we have to adjust because we have limitations. And we see maybe I cannot do as much as I thought I could. But as your service, you could also learn the art of delegating. That you build a team of people and you can delegate, you can outsource. And by simplifying our own life, you gain a lot of time and strength. So as a little giveaway, a little takeaway, when you feel your life is not so productive, you're not really accomplishing what you want to do, there's this very simple program. Have you ever heard of MS-DOS? MS-DOS? You remember good old times? MS-DOS? No, most of you are too young for that. Yeah. What is MS-DOS? MS, more service. Okay, if you want to do more service, what do you have to do? DOS. Delegate, outsource, and simplify. Some things you have to delegate. You don't have to do them yourself. You can delegate to others. Some things you can outsource. You don't have to do the oil change. Believe me, there is people on El Camino Real who will do your oil change. Have you noticed? You don't have to do it, all right? So you can outsource it to them. But as far as our own lives go, if we learn the art of simplifying in respect to his question of being humble, of being simple Vaishnavas, not overly sophisticated, complicated, distracted, but of simplifying our lives. MS-DOS. More service by delegation, outsourcing, and simplifying our life. And then you can actually take on these opportunities. And you will see there is quite some satisfaction when we can do something beyond our call of duty. Because being good is not good enough. We're looking for excellence here. You're not here in Silicon Valley because you're mediocre people. You're not here because you just got by somehow. No, you wanted more. Okay, so here is an opportunity to do more. Are we ready to take it, or have we already given up on ourselves? And we're just coasting and cruising in comfort zone. Now, if you become comfortable outside of comfort zone, you can be comfortable anywhere. What is that outside of comfort zone? Well, just bend your mind around this. There are 7 billion living entities on this planet. Most of them are forgetful of God. Most of them are trying whatever they can do to enjoy their senses and to exploit the resources of this planet. So to remind them of God's mercy and compassion, and to give them the opportunity to reconnect with God through this process of chanting His holy name, is a wonderful opportunity. And you can do that no matter what your job, your occupation, and your background is. Whenever somebody asks you, why don't you drink? Why don't you eat meat? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You can just smile and tell them, because I'm a Hare Krishna. Have you ever tried? No? Why not? It's very simple. If you can walk around with a t-shirt which says, I'm proud to be blah, 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 whatever. You know, people are proud. Have you ever seen these stupid stickers on the cars? Have you ever seen? Have you noticed? All kinds of stupidity, right? No need to get into details. People are proud for the sake of being proud. Huh? Why not tell people? I'm Hare Krishna. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm still alive. Can you believe it? I'm still here. I don't, ingest substances that you can light on fire. It's not intelligent. An intelligent person doesn't do that. People will respect you because you have some contribution to make. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you move around Mountain View, what you see mostly is Latinos, Chinese, and Indians. The white people are somewhere in the hills. I don't know where they are, They've maybe given up. They maybe ran away from this place. So, which basically means it's up to us. What are we going to do here? It's up to us. This is your temple. This is your community. This is your congregation. What are we going to do with it? Am I a spectator or am I a participator? Have I come here to watch the show, the game? Or have I come here to engage in seva? It's a daily choice that we have to make. And according to how we make that choice, the Lord will reciprocate with us in a different way. If we are hello, welcome, and goodbye, Krishna says, hey, hello, welcome, goodbye. Because Krishna reciprocates with us. But if we come to the Lord and we say, hey, Bhagavan, hey, Krishna, you look beautiful. I brought you something. I've been missing you. How are you? I know you're dancing with your friends, but I want to see you dancing in my heart. Krishna will reciprocate our love, our prayers, our affection. But if we're busy just with hello, welcome, and goodbye, then that's the life we're going to lead. So don't fool yourself in just going through the motions of growing up, getting married, having a bunch of kids, getting a few houses, selling a few companies and shares, and then croaking and dying and starting the game all over. That's a wasteful life. Unless we actually achieve bhakti, unless we actually achieve Krishna's affection, because we have captured the attention of his devotee by simplicity, humility, and menial service, it's just a waste of time. And that's not really glorious. Especially given the fact that we have so much opportunity. So, we'd like to congratulate you. You've made it here. And some of you are staying here and working here and build their lives here. That is commendable. But good is not good enough. We're looking for excellence. And what is that excellence? Add bhakti to every aspect of your life. And you will see how this will become the magic key ingredients which will help you to actually make a difference. Not only in your own lives, but also in the world and in the lives of so many others. Because this is your community. This is your place. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we will have Aarti ceremony.